Hey everybody, welcome back to Backseat Broadcasting. I'm Eric Elkins. We're on the back side of the Apex this racing season, season 5 here, moving right along on it. We are here, of course, as you can see, the famous corkscrew right there, Laguna, Seca in Monterey, California, doing the MX-5s on Sundays, as always, to kick us off with a little bit of fun. Got a nice little grid going on right now. We're just under 5 minutes to go for our qualifying session. So we'll be jumping in there in just a moment here. Following along with Craig Reeve right now is top of the standings with 139 flat. We got 2.5 on the board to wrap up our practice session. These guys have been running for a couple hours here, so they got some good practice under their belts by now. Ranging from a 139 to about a 142, more or less. They have a 143 and a 146 on the board. Very tricky turn one coming in here. The downhill brake from 5th gear down to 2nd gear for the double left-hander. And then back over to the left side of the track for this right-hander. Very tricky. This track is really just made for the Miatas, in my opinion. It's just the right speed of turn to put these things on the edge of traction. I mean, this course is quite narrow and can put almost any car on the edge of traction, surely. But it's got a great balance for the Miatas. We got 30 seconds to go. My favorite turns right there on the track. So try to avoid the sausage curb on the left-hand side of the apex. Hauling uphill. Trying to keep that speed as much as possible. Brake when you're over the crest. And I always personally, as we see James Dean just catch a little bit of that inside dirt there and sends him flying. I usually try to take the corkscrew as flat as possible and just cut both corners as much as I can. And it's very difficult on the onboard there. Really just looking over the edge. You can maybe see it here. You're just aiming for that tree, that oak tree on the far side. You can't see the track below you as there is a lovely amount of elevation change in this race. Let's take a quick look at the race info before we jump off. We got 40 minutes on the clock with a track temperature of 92 degrees and air temperature of 66 only. We got 2.2 mile circuit. Only a little bit of elevation, altitude. As we are right at the coast in Monterey Bay, California. It's a great turn there that you take in third gear, and then this one you can sort of switch to fourth if your tires are heated up, getting into fourth, going around that turn, or just before it. Here he is in fourth, drops it down to third for this left-hander uphill. You want to aim for that curve right there on the right, that blue curving. Tuck it all the way to the right. You got a little dip to the left. Try to avoid that sausage curve and carry as much speed out there. If you aren't acting like it's a hot lap, it's what we like to see. For my demonstration lap, up, kiss that curve, you're on the brakes. Try to take as much of this left curve. That's really a great way to take the corkscrew, then drop it down to third immediately. Playing with the throttle, you can get it to fourth around that turn if your tires are hot enough. You drop it usually down to third here. You can sometimes maintain fourth gear around that turn, and then through the final hairpin onto the pit straight, go down to second, and you get that speed going. There's Dustin Burkhalter, seeing his fans on the side of the racetrack, giving everybody a little show, doing his burnouts, and messing with the pace truck for. I don't know what he's doing. We have Mark Bray out on track, coming across the line to start his first hot lap out there. Craig Ream coming down to turn one. I guess that's turn 2 and 3. Technically, turn 1 is sort of a kink up on the hill. Doesn't perhaps have the speed that he might be hoping for. He was very quick in practice, as we all saw. Dustin still playing it safe over there. Troy Banks coming around that beautiful turn. I can't remember what turn that is. It's like 7, I believe, 6 or 7. Down to third gear and around that left-hander. Brilliant elevation changes there. Adam Baltutis out on track. Oh, we have somebody on the board. It is Adam with 139.561. I think he's going to find a bit more pace out there. Kent Kruger comes across with 140.5. Troy Banks with a 141.2. I believe, what were we seeing in practice? 132s, I believe, on the lower ends. To about 137, I believe everybody's going to find a little bit more. I got to stop clicking on Dustin because he's not going anywhere. He's going to do the back to front challenge. On the board so far, it's Adam Baltutis, Ken Kruger, Troy Banks, James Dean, and Mark Bray at the moment. We got Andres Garcia hauling up towards that turn 6, I believe. That beautiful left-hander up the hill. You want to avoid the sausage curbing on the left. It's a real mean one, but at the same time, you really want to feel your car almost bottom out on that dip. Have as much of your suspension in there. Andrew Rasmussen crosses the line for 4th fastest with 141.8. Craig Ream coming down the corkscrew section. Around the penultimate turn, Bjorn Bench is on the board with a 141.1. That's good enough for 3rd position at the moment. Craig Ream crosses the line. He's good enough for first position with a 139.4. Bumps Adam Baltutis down to second. Dustin Burkhalter still sitting out there. Brandon Bachman, also very quick in practice. Getting a little wide there, throwing a rear tire into the dirt. But that's the way you got to drive these things. Ryan Matthew is on the board. He's 7th fastest at the moment. You just see how much that suspension compresses there. Adam Baltutis coming back down the pit straight. See what he's going to lay down for us. Takes that inside line. It's only a 140. He's not going to go any faster. Got to cut at least 0.6 off of that time to take pole position back. Craig Ream says with a little off track. Oh, on the final turn too. It's so easy to go wide there. Andres Garcia slips into 4th and Brandon Bachman into 5th. For the moment, as you see him sliding it around turns 1 and 2 there. Mark Bray goes a little bit faster with a 143.35. That relegates James Dean down to the bottom of the pack. Then again, there is Dustin Burkhalter, so at least you got a time on the board here for us. There's Ryan Matthews doing a little bit faster out there. Still not good enough to push him up any of the places. He's got to get another second to take 8th place away from Andrew Rasmussen. Oh, and that's Craig Ream, who had an off track coming up this hill, and he's going to call that good enough for us. Kent Kruger just 4/10 off of the front row. This will be his final time. Nice and tight on the final turn. It's really easy to go out onto that green AstroTurf. Andres Garcia goes 2nd fastest. And Kent Kruger goes a little bit. Oh, no, he does not go faster. Excuse me. He stays ahead of Brandon Bachman, though. Andres Garcia gets himself onto the front row at the last moment. And Kent Kruger is just going to stay behind Adam Baltutis there. Brandon Bachman these guys inching closer to a better time for all of them, but not enough to put them up the grid at all. They're going to stay as they are at the moment. And Dustin Burkhalter is going to bring up the back of the pack. And that is it for qualifying. Let's see that race grid. All big and pretty. We got Craig Ream on pole position, lining up next to Andres Garcia. Row 2 is Adam Baltutis and Kent Kruger. We got Brandon Bachman and Troy Banks lining up. Bjorn Benches, Andrew Rasmussen, Ryan Matthews, and Mark Bray rounds out the top 10. James Dean is slowest of qualifiers, and Dustin Burkhalter is behind him. Also, we have Valerie Asensio also lining up for us, and possibly Federico Del Toro and David Fendick if they decide to join us here. And my goodness, this, maybe we're doing a full lap after this, but this is going to be, if the safety car comes in right now, he only guides them around one turn before it goes green, and there's not going to be any time for these guys to get these tires up to temperature. Let's take a quick look at the race info again. See, the track temperature is down to 80 degrees at the moment. That is not going to help anybody out there. Oh, excuse me, and we're ready to go racing pretty much immediately as that pace car, watch it, is about to come in. It's already out of the picture. It's come into the pit lane. We're going to go around this final turn and get racing here. Craig Ream is your pole sitter. All eyes on him at the moment. Everyone's around final turn, and we're off racing. Andres Garcia doesn't get the best jump. There's Adam Baltunas back there. Kent Kruger also getting a decent jump. Swallowing up Andres Garcia right at the get-go. But he manages to pull out in the slipstream of Craig Ream and take to the racing line. Adam Baltunas on the inside has amazing amounts of grip. He's going to get that second place done. Kent Kruger loses one to Troy Banks behind him. Who is that? Bjorn Benches has a dismal start, loses 3 places right off the bat. Dustin Burkhalter's already up 4 from the back of the grid. Andrew Rasmussen's got 2 already. Craig Ream still leads. Andres Garcia retains second place. Then it is Adam Baltunas. Troy Banks has made up 2 so far. Kent Kruger drops down 1, as does Brandon Bachman, who started just ahead of Troy Banks. He's on board with Dustin Burkhalter, if you couldn't tell by the roll cage. Caught up in a big pack of drivers there. He's got a blinker in front of him, and somebody gets taken out and crashed and comes across the road. Oh, and he has to take evasive action. I don't know who that was. Andrew Rasmussen. Somebody was blinking back there. Dustin Burkhalter now made up 6 because of that. Troy Banks has to concede that one back to Kent Kruger, but he gets the cutback on him. Let's see if he's going to be able to take that race to him. It looks like Kent Kruger's just creeping out ahead. Whoa, so barely just banged doors there so gently. Troy might have this on the inside line here. He's going to hang on. There's Ryan Matthews getting one on Andrew Rasmussen, and he's got to be careful because Bjorn Benches is right back at there. Right back behind them. Here is Adam Baltunas all the way back in 5th position, having an issue early on. Oh, and Ryan Matthews loses out. And that's Bjorn trying to put Andrew Rasmussen off. Here's Adam Baltunas and Kent Kruger, Dustin Burkhalter sandwich going up the hill towards the corkscrew. Let's see if it's as crazy this time around from Dustin's point of view. Not quite. He's got good control of that rear end as he wants to snap around on him. Adam take a bit of an unorthodox line to prevent Dustin from making a move. Some great racing all over the track at the moment. Adam Baltunas gets that on Kent Kruger as Kent goes really widen out, breaks himself there. Dustin Burkhalter is getting a good jump on Adam here. He's going to make up yet another position down to the inside of turn 1 and 2. He's already ahead of him. He's going to have that done when they get down here. Kent now has to focus on Adam, not get too frustrated, and stay on his racing line. The battle for the lead is starting to heat up as Andres Garcia is able to catch up to Craig Ream and make it under a second. Troy Banks finds himself having a little bit of a lonely race there. Oh, there's Dustin Burkhalter really throwing it into that turn, taking the proper racing line with a couple wheels into the sand. Troy Banks over 3 seconds ahead, 1.5 back to Dustin Burkhalter. And as the final podium position, he's got to look out for Dustin. Craig Ream has increased his advantage slightly. Perhaps Andres is staying with him down the pit straight here, getting a nice toe. Got to get a nice final turn here. Pretty equal exit. He's not going to get the slipstream he needs. Adam Baltude is trying to stay with Dustin Burkhalter. Bjorn Bench is still behind Ryan Matthews as he tries to climb his way back through this grid. He's having a little connection problem there, and he's back with us. A little bit towards the back of the pack, we have Valerie. Oh, I'm sorry. Looks like Bjorn is going to make this move happen. Bjorn decides to shuffle back in line, maybe try to get him up the hill here. That's not the entrance he wanted, though. Sort of tried for the apex a little prematurely, had to slam on the brakes a little bit. And you really spend a lot of the race listening to these tires squeal. Those are those nasty sausage curves that I was talking about that you do not want to get hung up on. And there is Mr. Bachman trying to put Bjorn under some pressure. Troy Banks now has to worry about Dustin Burkhalter behind him, who's made up 8 positions. Granted, it was kind of easy pickings for him, as he is quite quick in these Miatas. He's setting some decent times during the race, so he can just keep it clean during the start. He takes the inside to turn 5 here. Troy goes wheel to wheel with him and keeps the momentum on the outside. Justin may have to shuffle back in line here. He's got to look out because Adam Baltudis almost follows Troy Banks right in through there. And Dustin not getting the launch he needs out of that turn with that racing line. Troy's going to hug to the inside of this one. Adam Baltudis, as Dustin almost loses it there. Oh, he takes the inside of that turn there. Very difficult to go 2x2 through there. Looks like he doesn't get a slow down penalty because of it. Makes that position up. No, he does. And here he is serving that penalty. Trying to anyways. You got to watch your suspension with those big fat curves. Oh, and Adam Baltus is going to take to the inside. but Dustin gets a great exit from that turn, as does Kent Kruger. So Adam Baltudis is going to have to fight for this one here as Dustin gets the jump on him. It gives Troy Banks a little bit of breathing room as these guys are going to fight really hard. Dustin just finally getting that move done 3 or 4 turns later. And that's giving Troy a 1.2 second. Oh, as Dustin goes off track, manages to hold on to it there. That's one of those locations where you can afford to go off track if you hold on to it. You don't freak out. You don't change your inputs too drastically right there. You can get away with it and not get a slowdown penalty either. Dustin really likes the outside of that uphill there on turn 6. That might invite Adam Baltudis back in, but he's not losing enough speed out there. It's very important to know how your car behaves off track and be able to keep that race speed up even, let alone not bin it, but just keep your momentum going. And there's Brandon Bachman with already a little bruised front bumper there. He's got to look out. The battle for the lead is still going down. It's down to about half a second at the moment. Adam Baltudis has himself a little off track in the final turn of the lap. Back up top though. And now Troy Banks has lost that 1.2 second advantage. You have to feel for him. It's only a matter of time before Dustin gets this one done for the final podium position. Troy Banks just edging ahead at the moment. And he needs Adam Baltudis to get back in this race and continue to put Dustin off, as Dustin is managing to find so much speed on the inside. Oh, and they bang doors. And perhaps Troy is not so in control when that car goes into the dirt, but oh, he's finding the speed that Dustin was on the inside, and this is what I'm talking about. Adam Baltudis might follow Troy right through. No, he jumps back in line. This is going to be real awkward for these guys. That's going to send Dustin real wide out there. He manages to keep that speed up though. That's what I'm talking about. So they almost come 3-4 wide into the corkscrew. Troy's going to have to give that one up as he grabs too much dirt on the inside of the first turn in that chicane. Oh, great racing. And that's Dustin Burkhalter into the final podium position. Unfortunate for Troy Banks, who had a great start to this race. He's still having a great race, putting on some great entertainment for us as well. Adam Baltudis, he's fast out there, started on the second row of the grid, currently in 5th place. And then Ken Kruger joined him. He was also on the second row of the grid. They both fall down behind Troy Banks and Dustin Burkhalter. Brandon Bachman running, back in 10th place and giving Bjorn a little tag there. He's got to go to the pit lane and get that car going again. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm so sorry, Bjorn. There's Adam Baltudis trying to make one up on Troy Banks. Not going to happen there, and might even invite Kent Kruger in for a bite. And that's Troy Banks taking to the and he's returned to the pits. Such a bummer for him, as he was having an awesome race up until that point, but very easy to lose these little Miatas when they go. You think that they're just going to plant because they're just not even going that fast, but dip a wheel into that sand and you will spin around there. Oh, goodness. Oh, never mind. Software glitch. Thought we had lost our battle for the lead in Andres Garcia there. Let's see if Ken Kruger can't make something happen down the straight. Looks like he's a little bit too far behind at the moment. See these guys battling, but they really got to be door to door by this point. Might get a cut back on him here to the left, but no, not this time. That's Brandon Bachman coming down to turn one again. A little bit cleaner this time through. Bjorn Benches is now fighting with James Dean. Troy Banks, unfortunately, is out of the race. Bummer to see that, as I think there was still some racing to be done for him, even if it was down the grid. Ooh, as James Dean almost loses the rear end there. Jordan makes it look easy on the inside, carrying plenty of speed through. Ryan Matthews still staying with Brandon Bachman. Kent Kruger holding on dearly to Adam Baltudis. And both of them have been able to stay with Dustin Burkhalter, but then there is a 11-second gap. Oh, there's Brandon Bachman, who had an off track at the corkscrew. Let's see what had happened here. Did he spin it on his own? A touch of karma, we'll call it. It's a race leader, Craig Ream, followed by Andres Garcia, and I was going to say there's about a 12-second gap back to the third position. And Dustin has not really been able to cut anything off of that. He's not even really able to get away from Adam Baltudis and Ken Kruger at the moment. So he may be fighting this one for a minute. We got 16 minutes down already. So I would suspect that these guys are going to fight for a while. Adam Baltudis and Ken Kruger are often duking it out. Oh, and that's Dustin Burkhalter catching a lot of that off track there. Adam's going to take that third position. There's so much room for racecraft here in the MX-5s, and really gives you a chance to race the other drivers out there. Oh, maybe just a tiny tap there as Dustin tries to sling it in a different line. Kent Kruger's right on his tail now. Coming down to turn 1 and 2. Andres Garcia is almost getting his nose in there. It's Dustin Burkhalter with a very tight, pretty line there. Adam Baltudis is not able to really use that speed to his advantage. He's now much, much closer to Dustin. And he's almost coming together. That's okay. That's what the Miatas are for. A little bit of rubbing out there is not going to hurt anybody. Oh, and Adam goes wide into the second part of the corkscrew. He's going to get a slowdown penalty for that. Maybe, I don't know, because he lost so much time on that. Kent Kruger goes through as well. Bjorn Bench is staying ahead of Mark Bray for the moment. He's still 11 seconds behind Brandon Bachman, despite Brandon's spin of his own. Ryan Matthews threw the corkscrew down the hill. Andrew Rasmussen having a bit of a lonely race in 6th position at the moment. Just trying to bring it home, and there's Adam Baltudis, who's already 1.1 behind Kent Kruger, who is now putting Dustin under a ton of pressure, which is very good to see. Craig Ream dips a wheel there, and Andres starts to close up slightly. These cars just, they don't have very much horsepower at all. I find myself almost flexing my race rig sometimes, putting my foot down, just making sure that potentiometer is getting every little bit of rotation. Ooh, and that's Dustin Burkhalter really pushing his luck, but that is one of the make or break turns of the lap. If you get that one right, you could really make up some time there. But if you get it wrong, you are going wide there. Dustin taking an awesome route through the corkscrew. Just barely touching either side of the marbles is the way to go. Adam Baltudis is closed up to 0.6, making it a little interesting for them. Brandon Bachman back up to Ryan Matthews here, making a 0.3 race. Oh, he's got so much speed coming through the corkscrew. Ryan's going to have the inside, so he's going to stay ahead for the moment. But how long? Because Brandon is looking mighty racy up there. Ready to turns forward here. Become your race leaders. I believe that's Valerie just ahead of them. This is on the nose camera of the 2nd place runner Andres Garcia at the moment. We are over halfway done with this race. I didn't even notice. Heading uphill, hopefully to a little bit of traffic with Valerie. But she has disappeared. All of a sudden, I hope she didn't hit her off-track limit. That would be unfortunate. I don't think she had. Adam Baltudis, got that boot done on Kent Kruger. Let's go back and see what happened there. That's Kent Kruger just not able to get his race car back onto the track, just trying to coax it back on there. Just loses that position to Adam. Brandon still working on Ryan. Although Ryan is working on Brandon. This will be a really important turn here. There's Brandon trying to get, he could have gotten the cutback. I could have sworn he had the right line to take back to the inside, which will be so important for turn 1 here. Despite his little spin, Adam Baltudis is only 0.9 behind that podium position. Just dipping the wheel out there, almost loses it, but holds on for dear life. We're down to turn 5, I believe. Oh, somebody has, is that Andrew Rasmussen, who has turtled his car on the uphill. I want to see what went on there. unfortunate and gives it a couple rolls and turtles for good luck. Such a bummer when that happens. The battle at the lead is still going on, but nothing happened for Andres at the moment. Dustin takes a wider line than he normally likes to there and goes off track. I think he is really. Is there like a Harley in my ear? You guys hear that? That was weird. It was like the pace truck. Weird engine noise. But Dustin seemingly beating his tires up for 25 minutes into this race. He's definitely abusing that car. Definitely likes to get the most out of it. And these guys now remarkably 16 seconds behind the leaders. Oh, and Brandon Bachman is out of the race, as is Andrew Rasmussen. Not out there. Oh, no, there's Andrew Rasmussen coming out of the pits now that he has gotten towed and patched up. He decided to rejoin us. Thank you very much, Andrew. There's James Dean, currently running in 9th. He's got 13, 14, 15 seconds either side of him, so he's just going to run this race down. Here's Mark Ray with 13 seconds either side of him. Bjorn Benches currently lies where he grid in 7th position. And he's got 6.3 seconds up the road to find Ryan Matthews, who might be able to make that happen. Ken Kruger is still pulling up the rear in this pack. See these cars start to slide a little bit as they go to turn in. They're not quite having the same bite that they used to. The car is getting a little out of shape. Is Andres Garcia battling still for the lead. Oh, big bit of curb there. But he really committed to that corner early. Just decided screw it. Need to be in, perhaps the tires aren't having any more 4th gear around that turn. Down to 3rd here. Brakes a little bit before Craig Ream's braking point. You can just see the amount of instability and oversteer these guys are suffering from these used tires and these Miatas. Really important turn there. Didn't really nail it. He's gonna lose probably a 10th over that because of it. And they're coming up to some lap traffic now, so this may play into his hands a little bit, but it might just end up being done on the pit straight anyways. It looks like it. That's Andrew Rasmussen after his pit stop. And looks like he will probably end up yielding on the pit straight here. Or maybe not. Maybe Craig will catch him in the infield, and it will start to mix things up a little bit for us. Andrew not seeing those blue flags quite yet. Dustin Burkhalter has found himself a 2-second gap, though, somewhere in that last lap. Bjorn Benches now only 2.5 behind Ryan Matthews. Somewhere, though, Adam Balatutis has found a second on Dustin Burkhalter. Is now closing back up to him. Dustin must have had an issue somewhere in the early part of our first sector of this racetrack. Now it's back to under a second. Adam Balatutis pushing him down the track as we have 10 minutes on the clock to race. Here is a lot of, there's that lapped car of Andrew Rasmussen not getting out of the way for Craig Ream. Good lad, Andrew. Just being a big cork in the bottle for this race for the lead. He's got to let him go now. And that's put Andres Garcia just 0.7 behind him. But then Andrew is also giving Craig a slipstream down there. Craig's going to take back to the racing line. I wonder if Andres is going to get there. He is. And it looks like Andres is starting to struggle a little bit more with those tire wear towards the end of this stint. Maybe his setup is going away from him at this point. Adam Balatutis has a bit of an off track back there. And oh, Kent Kruger, just as we look away just for a moment, let's back that up and just see what had happened there. As he followed, Adam onto that line. And it's all about modulating your speed and steering inputs when you do go off track. Very difficult, as Ryan Matthews has had that off track right there. And Bjorn has been, what was it? It was about closer to 7 seconds a moment ago. A few minutes ago, Bjorn has got it down to under half a second. He should make 6th place up fairly soon. And there they go, side by side, into a very dangerous turn here to go, especially if you're on the outside, as that's what can happen. Oh, Bjorn Bench is having some network issues here. Ryan Matthews does well to keep hold of it during the off track and returns ahead of Bjorn still. Dustin Burkhalter getting through some of this lap traffic. Oh, maybe a little touch there. Or somebody's having an issue. Ahead of him is Adam Balatutis. Kent Kruger gets by. It was Ryan Matthews. Adam Balatutis is well down the track, though. These guys are not going to catch him. Kent Kruger does get by, though, after his own mistake. Adam was really pushing it towards the end of the race. I doubt he was going to be able to catch Dustin. Bjorn still behind Ryan Matthews. After all that hard work to catch him, he is not finding the gap he needs to make the pass stick. Great racing from these guys here. Here's the onboard with Bjorn. So you hear how angry those tires are, and they go under this bridge side by side. Bjorn is on the inside yet again. Let's see what happens here. They give a little touch. Ryan has to concede that position. And up top, Craig Ream's got a 2.2 second lead. He's sitting very happy at the moment. He's just got to bring that car home. Dustin is one who just needs to take it easy as well. He's moved up 9 positions. He's in a podium place. He's not going to be caught or catch anyone. He's just got to take it easy and not spin this car for the remaining 5 minutes of the race. Oh, Valerie out there causing trouble, getting people DQ'd. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Who was that? Was that Andrew Rasmussen that was behind her? I think he's out of the race with that little tap. That was not very safe of him to do it like that. Andres Garcia getting by him. Still that 2.2 behind Craig. He's not gonna catch him. He's just got to stay in his mirror just to keep him honest for the last 4 minutes. Just don't let him let up one bit. It's okay, there's no bumper to fall off anyways. And Adam Baltudis coming around that turn. Let's see if Ken Kruger is able to get it back on track and stay ahead of Adam. He's smoking a little bit. I don't know if that's just dust from off track or something wrong with his engine since he smashed it into the wall. Adam goes, oh, I was going to say he goes deep into there, but Ken tags the off track, probably looking to his right. And almost loses it. Warren Benches coming uphill ahead of Ryan Matthews. He was actually 30 seconds back. Wonder if he had an issue somewhere. Mark Bray currently running 8th, followed by James Dean. And Andrew Rasmussen is not on track. It looks like here's Valerie. Hey, is Valerie? Well, if Andrew's not on track. So this might be the first points and top 10 finish for Valerie this year if she takes that 10th place from Andrew Rasmussen. She'll see when she comes across the finish line. We got a $1:40 on the clock at the moment. That's just enough time to do a lap. Here is Craig Ream wrapping up our penultimate lap. And Andres Garcia trying so hard to stay with Craig. He's going to see the white flag this time as he comes across the line. One more lap to go just to keep it easy. It was Ryan Matthews ahead of him. And that is Valerie in 10th position. Ryan Matthews, you have the chance to ruin Craig's race yet. Could take a very, very suspect line through there and block the leader. That would be great. That would be just super. Greg takes to the inside. Now it's only 1.5 back to Andres Garcia, but I don't think he's going to have it unless Ryan punts him. At the moment, looks like he's moving through. All right. The checkered flag awaits Craig Ream. A well-earned victory for Craig Ream this evening in the MX-5s. Comes across the line. It's followed by Andres Garcia, just 1.2 behind him. Well, way to go, Andres, for pushing Craig the entire way. No one else was close. 22 seconds behind them. Dustin Burkhalter makes up 9 positions to take the final podium. Adam Baltutis qualified in 3rd, but can only finish 4th. And same with Kent Kruger, just behind him in 5th. Loses a place in qualifying. Jordan Benches able to bring it home 6th here this evening. Ryan Matthews finishes 7th. Mark Bray finishes 8th. James Dean comes across the line for 9th. And Valerie Asensio on the board for the first time this season. And here are your podium winners this evening. Well, 2 of them anyways. Craig's finding the perfect corkscrew position to take the podium pictures this evening. Let's go through those race results again. Craig Green, your pole sitter and race winner, followed by Andres Garcia, and then Dustin Burkhalter rounds out the top 3. Adam Baltutis, Kent Kruger, Bjorn Benches, Ryan Matthews, Mark Bray, James Dean, and Valerie Asensio wraps around the top 10. Andrew Rasmussen, Brandon Bachman, Troy Banks were not able to complete the race with us here this evening, but we enjoyed having them nonetheless. As always, don't forget to hit that thumbs down button. Never subscribe to my race channel. And please hit the little bell an even number of times. We'll be back on Wednesdays with a Camel GT Evolution with the SR8s and the Audi R8s. And of course the big one on Thursdays with the IMSA Classic. It's the LMP2s and the GTEs. Make sure you join us for this fabulous race week at Laguna, Seca. We're having a good time. It's a great start. Thanks for joining us, folks. See you Wednesday.